You mean to tell me the behavior analysis has more to offer than early intervention and the other proven effective methods that are out there? That is right, and today we are talking a bit about that with my good colleague and friend and social media guru. It's alright if I call you that, right? Right, Dia? Anyhow, Dia Ascari. So he runs the Behavior Man page in Miami in February. It's been a long time. I met up with him. We recorded this content to really just talk about other applications of behavior analysis or how we use it in our own life. So, hope you enjoy. Here's the interview. Here we go. All right, so another way in which I use behavior analysis in my everyday life is planning. So there's a lot that goes on there when we're talking about like what's actually working, if it's what goes into self-management, the goal setting, the verbal behavior, and all that sort of stuff. Rule-governed behavior gets a little crazy. But largely what I do is I look at hours that I'm like really ineffective or like not happy with that time. Yeah. So when I was launching up this channel, I realized, like looking at everything, like my hours of 8 o'clock to 11 were pretty largely just like not efficient. Now, sometimes they're really good and useful for just chilling out and relaxing and those sort of things. But I was like, hey, if I go to bed earlier, I'm really efficient in the mornings and effective and like ready to get up and go. Yeah. And so I can kind of like hack that 3 hours that I was losing and like get it back into my day. Have you done anything similar?
With time management?
Yeah.
Yeah, for me, I literally had issues with time management in going from like high school to college. Because in college, you're just kind of on your own all of a sudden. And if you don't show up to class, your teacher's not going to say anything. Just get an F. Yeah. You know, so that was a big, and then I started working and stuff. So it was I was like a big time procrastinator, you know, like, and it was also kind of reinforced because
everybody has been.
Yeah, I procrastinate and I still do well, so it just gets reinforced anyway, you know. Yeah. So that was always an issue. But what I've learned is over time you can't procrastinate with everything, so you have to figure out how to get around this. And really just scheduling with a calendar. Like my Google Calendar is like my life. Like if I input something wrong in my Google Calendar, it's throwing everything off. Yeah. So
or you don't show up, or it didn't happen, or it's just not a real thing anymore.
It's just, honestly, that my entire life is based on that calendar. So open up the calendar and I see what I have to do, and I just go by that. And that just helps me keep organized. And if I have to make a change, I make the change through that calendar. Even like if the change happened and I didn't make the change, like I'll retroactively go back and like change it just to like, so I can look back and like I can reorganize and reorient myself. Yeah. You know, so that's just been a big help.
I spend a couple of hours throughout the week like looking at my schedule when I need to plan, or if I know a lot of people that I need to plan with or something like that. Yeah, that's been huge. Yeah, it's another one of those, like I spend a lot of time and I think it returns, but I've never really calculated the return.
Yeah, so that'll be interesting. So a lot of these too we're discussing is like, it would be great if we always had data, and as behavior analysts we should on these things, but I mean it takes a lot to collect data. Yeah. So as long as we do collect data on the things that are like most important, or we're not noticing there's immediate change, I think.
Yeah. I've always felt comfortable in my own life doing like application checks, like are things still getting done? And like, what are the products? So things like the podcast is getting out and these videos are getting done, like works, you know, moving forward. Like I've looked at those larger aggregates, and that's been,
and also it's like, is it a problem? Is it impacting my life in a way? And then that's when you might have to take data, so you objectively know if you're changing it for the better. But I mean, so these are just some of the strategies we're using sometimes, and maybe you can apply it. And if it's really affecting you, do take data and share that with us, because that would be incredible to see. What? And then maybe inspire research and like. Because that would be awesome. We have more research in areas like that. It's just, I mean, there probably is already a lot out there, but just maybe publish in a journal behavior analysis, or have a BCBA who is doing the research.
It might already be out there, right? I've always thought about there's so many behavior analysts everywhere doing really cool stuff, but it's never really shared. Like a 0.1111 or 0.0001% like probably gets into our journals.
I think that should be a call to action we should start doing. If you've done research in any area that's not autism, like send it to us and we're gonna blast it everywhere. Just so we can show like people are doing things and that it exists out there. We're just not somehow hearing about it. So
cool.
Send it to us.
What else in our everyday life?
A lot with fitness. Maybe we should save that for a fitness episode?
Yeah, let's do that for a fitness episode.
Okay. Relationships. Relationships, I just want to say it's like the hardest thing
any relationship, right? It doesn't have to be an intimate relationship. It can be any relationship with anyone, whether it's a colleague, family member, loved one, whatever.
It's always difficult because
it brings up the topic on your shirt, right?
Yeah.
Are you analyzing?
You're analyzing my behavior right now. I feel like this is sometimes like a sensitive subject too. Like, if like you can't pull. You're almost like the a-hole. If you pull the I'm an expert in behavior, I'm right in this argument. You know, where you try to explain what's going on between you two, arguing in behavioral terms, because then you just kind of sound pretentious. Arrogant, I guess. So that's difficult. So I don't even know if I want to advise, but you could look at your own behavior sometimes. So like if we
could do a question of like keep going.
Yeah, I would say like if your significant other or somebody, any of your relationships says, hey, you're doing this and it bothers me, and maybe you don't agree with it, but you know that, and you could say, hey, I could change that behavior. How can I change that behavior? And there are different ways to do it. Like my wife, she would get mad that I wasn't like cleaning up more or something. So I literally just started counting how many times I was doing it. So I actually have objective data, so she comes back and says I'm not doing it. I was like, well, I did do it. Yeah. But not even just for that proof, it's just kind of like, I do want to address that problem. So just by counting it.
So it shows that you're taking some steps forward.
Yeah, I'm trying to take steps forward to help our relationship.
I've been on the other side with my roommate on being very clear with expectations of like, hey, I'm good at these things, but really bad at this. So like dishes. No, I just don't touch. I do, but it's like on my schedule, like once every way too long. Let's just say way too long.
We can never live together.
No.
I hate a dirty sink. That's the one thing that gets me.
Yeah. Well, I've just resorted to like snacks, protein bars, and eating out once a day.
The solution, the antecedent intervention, just don't use dishes.
Yeah.
There you go. Eat with your hands. Everything. That's the behavior analytics solution to this problem.
I cooked once last year, like a real meal.
Have you cleaned up the dishes yet?
Yes.
How long did it take? What was the inter-response time between the cooking?
Dude, it's one thing or the other. It's either immediately, because like I know like I'm gonna be that guy, or it's like 3 to 5 days later.
Yeah. 5 days. At what point? So okay, this is interesting though. What is the actual stimulus that evokes the behavior of cleaning the dish? 3 to 5 days later, what was it?
Eventually, it's that thought of like I'm an asshole.
So is it it's the
slash the smelly sink.
So but if you didn't have a roommate, would that have ever gotten clean?
Yeah,
I would have to like smell that. Or something.
Yeah, no, I've lived on my own. It's not just them, but they definitely expedite it. You know, like it's
Okay, so that'd be interesting. So
that's like they don't know that like I suck at it so bad that with them around, I'm actually a little bit better.
Yeah. So that
kind of messed up.
Show them that, like, hey, I'm working on it. You know, when I was on my own, having just 3 to 6 days, now it's 2 to 5.
Yeah.
So I'm making it.
I'm getting better.
No, that's interesting though.
Yeah.
So what? I mean, this is just fun behavior analytic talk here.
Just pure. I would rather do anything else. Okay. That's what it is.
Anything
and the other thing that I realized is a sponge that isn't on a handle, like in water and just food, like that texture. Ugh.
Sensory issues?
I can't do it, dude.
You have
can't do it. I can't do it. So like, that's definitely part of it. Then you gotta grab gloves and you gotta.
See, these are excuses. So.
And then I had this.
He's refusing to change his behavior.
I am, yeah.
He's refusing to accept. So this is, I think it brings up a good topic, willingness, I guess, to change. Does he want to change? Is it an impactful behavior? Does it mean anything?
This was, and this
I think it's social validity aspect.
Yeah, I gotta do a little bit of service to my parents and my mom here. Like I was raised the complete opposite. I was raised to be like very good at this.
Yeah, so
and
maybe that has
it deteriorated in grad school, and then I think part of it is I just rather do anything else besides that.
That's interesting. Maybe you grew up and it was required so much that when you were on your own, those contingencies disappeared and it went on extinction.
Yeah. I can think of like, if you were like, what else could you do besides doing the dishes? I could make a daily BA, I could call Dia, I could go to the park, I could go play basketball, I could go for a run. You know what I mean? Like,
literally anything.
Like all of these things are much better to do.
Wow. That's okay. So, but what I'm interested in though, like you even said, when you live by yourself, eventually clean the dishes.
I will never get somebody through this channel that's interested in dating me as a result of this. This is
On the next
clicked.
episode, how to find your significant other when you're a behavior analyst.
Yeah.
Don't talk about this.
Yeah. Don't press record about the things that you're really bad at.
Man.
What were you saying?
I was
Sorry.
asking what you're living on your own. You cooked. You have dishes in your sink. Eventually, you have to clean it. Like, what evokes that behavior? Is it the smell? Eventually,
I think it's partially.
or the threat of the smell eventually arriving. So you clean it immediately before the smell starts.
I would be sure. I don't have a solid data set on that to tell you, but I'm pretty sure it would be a mix of all those, depending on, like, if you looked at over a year,
Yeah.
and all of them, it's probably a mix of like the impending smell, the length of time, the number of thoughts of just like, man, like I really should have done that by now. And then sometimes it gets corrected for sure, and I'm just like, yo, I don't want to scrub off the like crusted stuff. Like we hit the link.
That could be a whole episode.
Yeah, we got a lot here, dude. So I think, I don't know where it was there, but I think it's a lot of different things. So if you look over the whole period of time, it's probably the impending smell, the smell, just the sheer thought of like, hey, I'm that guy that still hasn't done this yet. My mom probably like thinking I'm a lesser of a human as a result of not actually using the skills I was taught. All sorts of things, man. Cool.
So it's safe to say
I
that
didn't know we were
behavior
gonna
generalized for you.
Yeah, I didn't think we were gonna get onto this. Yeah, like I said, I've learned to work around it. I take a lunch meeting every day usually, and then I eat there, and then protein bars, snacks all around, and I'm good.
There you go, problem solved. Don't even have to worry about it. No dishes, no problem.
Pay a little more for food on average, but it's all right.
Yeah.
It works. It works for me.
There
At
you
the end of
go.
the day, it works. That's all that matters.
There you go.
All right.
Moving on.
What else? All right, so other ways that you can use behavior analysis in your life if you're not aware of these different things are, what do you got?
OBM, or if you're managing employees or supervisor.
Yeah,
in the
so
workplace.
we've got that. Dog training, animal training is a big one. Have you seen anything like that?
Yeah. I mean, even though it might not technically be applied by behavior analysis, it's still principles of behavior.
It could be. I mean, I guess it depends on what you're doing there, right? I mean, it could be making your dog's life better. So we mentioned Nick Green on this channel. He taught his dog to ring the bell when he wants to go outside, right? So
That's
he's
awesome.
sitting on the chair and he's hanging out, and the bell rings. And he gets up. He's like, "Oh, I need to let." It's Pete. I remembered, Nick. I need to let Pete out. Yeah. So there's that one. I've heard that the military is trained. There's evidence of them training crows back in the day to go find documents during war.
Oh yeah, and I saw a study where the rats go out and sniff out the landmines to help clear the field.
Yeah, so I haven't put that on here yet, but yeah, they are too light to actually
Trigger them.
Yeah, they're too light to actually trigger the landmines. So they can smell them out based on the TNT, and then someone comes in and cleans them up. They've actually eradicated an entire country's landmine problem as a result of that.
Eradicated.
Yeah, that was not intended.
Finance.
Okay, cool. What else?
Classroom management.
Classroom
That's a
management.
big
is another
one. Like, honestly, teachers, if any teachers are watching, or you know any teachers, you probably use a lot of behavioral strategies in your classroom anyway, but just having a more solid understanding of behavior analysis, you can be more precise and technological with the things you do, and more effective. Sometimes, like, honestly, I go in a classroom and just do a general training on, like, the good behavior game. If you've heard that, just using principles of reinforcement with little groups. The impact that can have on a classroom is tremendous, and it's such a small change you can make. So,
Yeah. One that's more outside but really interesting was behavior pharmacology. So the blend of drugs, essentially, prescription or illicit or whatever, and and behavior. Yeah.
Like adherence to the like the diet, or the prescription protocols and stuff like that.
Yeah. So one. That's a whole separate video, but that was a whole another area that was really cool. So our fields helped inform the typical ways to assess the effectiveness of drugs. Not that and so like the FDA has been a part of kind of, I guess we've helped inform those practices.
Yeah, that's really interesting. I think I read a study, I think Dr. Bailey did it. It was a study on, I think the college students leaving a bar and getting a cab instead of driving or an Uber, and they would reinforce pizzas or something like that, and they were able to increase the amount of cabs they would order versus driving home drunk, which is extremely applied.
Another one's really cool is the little triangles on the roads before what are those, crosswalks? Have you seen those?
Yeah.
So they're triangles. Ron Van Houten did a lot of research looking at those, and they used to be the lines. Remember the lines were just like a thick line in front of. What happened is they had a thick line in front of it to signal where the cars were supposed to stop, and instead, what was happening is people will stop and they see people crossing, but when you have two different, when you have two different lanes going, one person can stop and the other person's still driving, and they don't necessarily see the guy that's crossing.
Yeah.
And so what happens is it's a reaction time problem. So they move that line back, but then they switch it to the yield sign as well to try to like create the same stimulus control there of what's going on.
So just rearranging the environment.
So if you see those triangles, yeah, research led by Ron Van Houten did that, and then he got it into the national training system, or whatever the national system is, so that they're everywhere in the US.
It's pretty cool.
Pretty cool, right?
Yeah.
I don't know anything else.
I mean, it's
Everyday
anything.
life.
Honestly, anything. You identify a problem, not a problem. You identify behavior you want to increase or decrease. You can literally apply the same principles you do at work on that behavior. So
Boom.
do it. Send it to us.
Yeah.
Comment what you've done, and we can discuss it. Like we talked about doing the dishes for an hour, literally, because we started talking about it, and that's how fun behavior analysis is. Because it has limitless applications on it.
For sure. All right, so now it's your turn. Tell me in the comments below how you use behavior analysis in your everyday life, all right? Let's see if we can get 10 people. So do me a favor, tag someone, write yourself, and that is your... And with that said, I'm Ryan O. This is Dia.
AKA Behavior Man.
That's your daily BA. Do you know the outro?
You want me to do that too? Let's do it.
No, that's perfect. That'll be just enough. Don't click out, smash that share button, please. Come on, help out, spread the love. Let's get more people involved, all right? I'll see you soon.